Okay, listen, I get it. The mode is gone, and I should have done this way before, even when it came close to the mode finishing. I should have done it long before then. But I wanted to try and apply some of the stuff that I learned in After Effects to a real video, so this is it. Enjoy. Hey guys, welcome back to another segment of Fortnite College. In this video, we're going to be looking at how to beat Thanos. Now, in the Infinity Gauntlet mode, the hardest part is pretty much beating Thanos, and after that, when you are Thanos, it's pretty easy to win since a lot of people don't really know what to do. And as long as you have a basic understanding of how to play Thanos, then the game's pretty easy. So, we're just going to be going over the hardest part of the game, and that's beating Thanos. Assuming that you're not going to be one of these guys who just glide in the air and just wait for the gauntlet to come down. I mean, you have that option too, but we're not being wusses here. So just to quickly go over his kit, he has a punch, which also acts as a gap closer. It pretty much destroys any building he punches. He has a laser, which forces him to stay stationary as he beams at people. And he also has a jump, which makes him jump in the air. He can use these in combination, so he can jump and use the punch move to have this like dunking slam ability. And he can also jump in the air and use his laser so that he stays stationary in the air as he's using it. So basically that's Thanos. He doesn't really have that much. His laser gets countered by building, and his punches are pretty bad to use at long range. A lot of people underestimate his laser. They think it's really bad, so they just don't use it at all, but it's not that bad. Anyways, so you have a few options to beat Thanos. Let's go over the big ones. The big ones include hop rocks, shotguns, jump pads, sniper rifles, building, and impulse grenades. And the LMG/minigun, although the LMG is probably better. All these things, if you have a good amount of them, then you can probably beat Thanos. So let's start off with probably the biggest counter to Thanos is hop rocks. Hop rocks are really good against Thanos simply because he doesn't really have a way to catch you. He is pretty fast on the ground, but if you jump, he doesn't really have a way to attack you because his punches only work on the ground, and if he jumps, then he's stuck jumping because it takes so long for him to actually jump, so you can get some free shots on him. Either that, or he's forced to use his laser, which again, he's stationary and you can just build, and it gives you time to deal damage to him. In short, hop rocks, get them, jump around, and he can pretty much, he's pretty much like stuck in this scenario where he's always at a disadvantage. Even if he hits you by jumping and grand slamming, if you jump, you're pretty much giving yourself distance away from him, which is good. Second, shotguns. Shotguns are really good against Thanos simply because Thanos has a really big hitbox. It's very easy for you to hit all your pellets on him. You don't even need to be like right in his face in order to use them, and they deal a lot of burst damage. You typically can't stay in line of sight or have a very long opportunity to punish Thanos. Say you're building on him and you want to attack him when he's turned around and he's not really looking at you, then the shotguns, any shotgun actually, preferably the tactical shotgun, work all very well against him because it doesn't take that long to really shoot him and it deals a great amount of damage. Next, jump pads. Jump pads work really well for the same reason that hop rocks or impulse grenades work. It's because it gives you distance. So if he manages to close the distance on you, then you can easily just use a jump pad to get away from him, and preferably you would like to land as soon as possible so that you can punish him as he jumps after you. If you stay in the air for too long, then he will be able to either laser you down or just jump to where you're going, and you're going to be stuck in this kind of weird situation. So when you're using jump pads, make sure that you try to land as soon as possible so that you can punish him as he decides to jump, because once again, his jump has a very long delay. Next, sniper rifles. Sniper rifles actually synergize really well with jump pads because if you can find somewhere to land very quickly, then you can snipe him for a big chunk of damage. It's sort of the same similar concept as the shotguns in that you want to be able to deal a bunch of damage when you have the opportunity to punish him, because chipping away at him, while it can be effective, it takes a lot longer and it requires a lot more resources in order to do. So sniper rifles are really good for when he's either using his laser, when he's jumping, or when he's in the air using his laser. Since his hitbox is so big, it's kind of hard to miss, especially when he's stationary. So sniper rifles work really well. Next is building, and building is probably the worst. It's not bad, but it's probably, out of all the lists that I've given you here, it's probably the worst counter against Thanos simply because it's really easy for him to break stuff. But the idea is that you want to try and get above him because his punches only work horizontally and he can't really hit you if you're above him. The only way he can hit you with punches is if he climbs up your structure, and during that time you can actually shoot him and punish him with shotguns. So the idea is to try and get above him and constantly jump off your high ground as he's trying to break it down, and punishing him when you can. If he ever decides to use his laser on you, you can always just build a wall or a floor, and that'll prevent the laser from pretty much hitting you. The laser isn't really that long, so you just probably have to build like 1 to 3 floors or walls. modes. LMGs and miniguns. These guns are good, again, because his hitbox is big, and since these guns have quite a bit of spread on them, it's not as big of a deal compared to a regular game. The guns actually aren't that bad in a regular game, but in the Infinity Gauntlet mode against Thanos, it's even better just because his hitbox is bigger. So if you work this in combination with, say, a Hop Rock, then the LMG can be a pretty deadly weapon when fighting Thanos. Impulse grenades. The impulse grenades can work very well against Thanos simply because you can widen the distance between you two. The idea with the impulse grenade is either to give you some more forward momentum to keep your distance on him, or to push him backwards. And this will prevent him from being able to punch you, and either that'll force him to jump in order to close the gap on you, or he'll be forced to use his laser, which in both scenarios you have the advantage, of course. Something I'd like to keep in mind is to try and go for headshots, as you should be anyways, but Thanos' head hitbox is actually pretty big, so going for headshots can make him seem a lot more squishier than he actually is. And that's all there is really to it. Other than that, you just have to be able to aim well, and you have to get through the initial phase of fighting regular people. Things that you might want to avoid picking up for your loadout against Thanos are probably the explosives. Those are probably the big no-nos. RPGs and grenade launchers aren't that effective against him. The RPG gets outclassed by shotguns and sniper rifles, and the grenade launcher is way too inaccurate in order to actually deal damage to him consistently. So that's pretty much it. There isn't anything too special. The biggest tip that I have is to have either at least one or a combination of these. It's really easy to find weapons like scars and golden weapons in this mode, so finding a good loadout isn't too hard. The more of these that you have, the better. The best times to go and attack Thanos is either when he's near a crater where hop rocks are, because hop rocks just pretty much make you invincible against him, or to go and find him when he's being attacked by somebody else and he's actually starting to lose HP. Because after you break through his shield, if you deal damage to him, even if he ends up killing the person that he's attacking, he will regain his shield, but he won't regain his health, and that'll make him squishier overall. So it makes it really easy to fight him, especially when he's low on health. So those are the most opportune times to go and fight him, but you can fight him when he's full health with any of these suggestions here, as long as you can keep your distance and play it out properly. Again, if he's near a crater, that's probably the best time. You might not want to rely on him being low HP, because that's when everyone else is going to go, but a lot of people don't seem to realize that if he's near a crater, then hop rocks are just the way to go. Anyways, those are probably the best counters to beating Thanos. Every time I get Thanos, I actually end up winning the game. I don't recall many times being killed by Thanos, actually. Anytime I get Thanos, it's really easy to win the game because people don't really know what to do. So hopefully this clears up some things and makes it easier for you guys who watch the video to get Thanos. That's a funny joke, seeing as I uploaded this after the mode was gone, because you might be having trouble. I'm assuming that you have trouble if you're watching this video, so hopefully this is helpful. So thank you guys for watching. If you'd like to watch me play some Fortnite on Twitch, you can come and check me out. Like, subscribe, all that stuff if you'd like to see some more videos, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.